Hey guys, on our last video we talked about setting up the base application of our single SPA, the base or the roots application of our single SPA, and we also made mention that we can also create single SPA in different frameworks. So we can create it in Angular, Vue, React, and so many other frameworks as well. So today we are going to be creating a basic React application, and we are also going to plug it in, that is to register the React application into our base application. So let's do this quickly. Okay, so over here is the projects we did in the last video. That's the base application. So I could just move over to the parent folder. I would open this on my terminal. So then I could do create single SPA, create single SPA. So that's the command. So I can only use this command because I currently have the single SPA installed globally on my computer. So I'm just going to press enter to this. So this is the same command we made use of when we were creating the base or the root application. So this was the same command we made use of, and it's just actually a similar process. So now I'm going to choose the name of the folder I want the React application to be created in. So if I just want it to be created at the root of this folder, I would just press enter and accept the default of the current location. But I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to call it React app. So I'm going to press enter. So, and over here I would select the single SPA application. So I want to create a single SPA application now and not really the root application. So over here you can see we have React, Vue, Angular, Servlet, and so many other ones when we go to others. But for this one we are actually going to choose React. So I'm going to be using npm for this, and I'll choose that. So would I be using TypeScript? I'll choose yes for that. So organization name. In this case, my organization name is going to be called React App, and I'm going to press enter. So project name, and I will call this React project. So I'm going to press enter. Now at this point you can see that the application has been installed and it's running npm, and this may take a little while. So we just got done installing the React application. So I'm going to cd into that folder. So I have React app, and then I'm just going to run the command of npm start. For now, I'm just going to open this on my code editor, so I can always run the command later. So let's just go through the project that has been created from us from the CLI. So I'd like to show us is this, the package.json. So in this place, you can see we have under the script, we have the stats, and we have the stats as standalone. So I'm going to tell us the difference between the two very soon, actually. So let me just go on and start this application. So if I should start this application like this, just by simply running npm run start, it's going to start up, but then we're going to have the screen showing up. I'm going to allow that to save first. So I actually need to show us this because by default in most front-end application we just run npm start and we have everything up and running. So if we should run npm start in this case, this is what's going to happen. So we are going to have this screen that will tell us that your micro frontend is not here, and indeed it's not here. So the reason why we're seeing this is because for us to use React together with the base application, we need to serve the React app as a standalone application. We need to serve that as a standalone application. So in order for us to do that, I'm going to stop this. So in order for us to do that, we can actually serve React as a standalone. So over here now, I'm going to run this particular script. So run script. So this is me serving the React application as a standalone application. and when that is done serving, it's going to be served on the same port, localhost 8080. So I'm just go ahead to refresh this page. Now we can see that um, React app slash real React projects is mounted. So remember, this is the name of our organization, and this is the name of the projects while we were actually setting up the application on the CLI. So so obviously, like we all know, this is coming from here, and the name is actually being passed as a props to this particular place. So we have props name is mounted, and that's basically what we have here. So we can just to know if this is actually working. Let's say we have this. I'm just going to maybe put this in the h1 tag, paste this over here, and let's have h2. This is okay. That's not how to write this. This is a sample text. So you can see that this is actually working perfectly well. Now, how do we use this application? How do we bring this application and register it into the base application is what we're going to be taking a look at now. So this is actually quite simple. The easiest way to do this is just to open up your developer tool, and I'm going to refresh this. So when I refresh this on my network, you can see that we have several things here, and here we have a particular file which is called React app-reacts-projects.js. Now, if you were doing this, the name of this is going to change, and that is why you have to take note of what you are using as your organization name and as your project name. So we can see that the React app over here is our organization name, and this is our project name. So this is just the fastest way of getting out whatsoever your of getting this file, because you're going to need the URL to this file. Okay, so this is just the easiest way of getting it, knowing your project name and knowing your organization name. However, there is another way to get that, and I'm going to stop this terminal, and I'm going to run the script, the regular start script. So when I run this, we'll give that a second. Okay, I think that's done. So I'll refresh this now. And now we can see over here that this particular stuff here, http localhost 880 / react app react projects.js. In your case, if you are using another name, this URL would change. So, but this is the URL we need anyways. But since in most cases we are going to be since in most cases we're going to be serving our application as a standalone, we might not really be opportuned to see this particular page, and that's why I'm actually showing us this other way of getting the exact thing that we want. So over here, coming here, we have this, and if we take a look at the header, we can see the location of this particular file. So I'm just going to copy this URL because we're going to be needing it right now. Okay, so I have to go back to my folder. You can see this is the React app we just created, and this is what we created on the last video. So I'll be opening this, the base application. I'm going to open this on my IDE. So this is the base application already opened even. So I'm going to register it, and if you remember in the last video we said that we register, or every other single page application, every other micro front end is going to be registered on the system.js import map. So we're just going to add the comma over here, and we are going to say, I'm just going to paste this here. So in our own case, the name of our organization is, let's say, at React app / React project. So, and I'll paste the URL over here. So doing this now, I already have my I already have the React application registered with my base application of the Single-SPA. So I'm going to save this, and let's see. We remember that this was actually saved here. Okay, import this. So I'll come back here, I'll refresh this particular stuff we have here. Okay, so we're meant to have this registered, we're meant to have this being called in the network, but it's not being called right now because we're yet to do one more thing. And what we're meant to do is to actually include this into the micro front-end layout. So we're going to talk more on the layouts just as time goes on. So we're just going to add one more. I'm going to duplicate this. I'll just copy and paste this to make it two. Then I would go back to this place, and this particular stuff you're seeing here is actually like a unique identifier. It's what identify each of the micro front ends that we are building. So in this case, we have the React app, and I'm going to just paste it over here, and would save this. So coming over here, refresh this page. So we can see that we have React app is mounted, right? So over here now, we can then see that this is called React app, React projects. It's actually calling the exact location we instructed it to. So like you can see, we already have two projects. This is the one that comes in by default, and I actually don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to take it away and save this, and we have only this loaded in another port. So we technically don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore at the moment. Okay, so let's go on. Let's go on. So now let's talk a little bit about the layouting. I'm going to take this away. Let's talk a little bit on how we can lay out a single SPA. So for instance, I have this application. I want to make the React application to be like a sidebar application. This is not going to be a fancy app. This is just going to be a very basic app. So for instance, we have some predefined stuff here. I'm just going to take them away. So we have the single SPA router, and here I can say I want to create a navigation by the right, or I'm just going to make this a div instead. So make this a div, and at this point I just want to set the template of my application. So let's see. So let's take this away and see what happens. We'll save this application, we'll refresh this, and we still have that particular app here as well. Great. So what this means is that we are creating a kind of a template, and I just want to create a template, an easy template that is just going to look like this. Just let's say this the screen would just have a basic navigation over here with some menu here, and this is going to be our main area where the different feature of this application is going to be loaded. And in this case, our different feature is going to be different application built with different frameworks. So it's just going to be something very, very basic and not special. Okay. So that being said, we have this recorded over here. I'm just going to make some few changes to the React application, so it's not going to look so blank. So coming over here to our React application, I would create a quick CSS file. So we just have something to style. Okay, new file. Let's say style stats CSS, and we can then import that over here. So import style that's CSS. Okay. Okay, great. So we have this now. I'm just going to say when we have a div here, or let me call it a nav instead. We have a nav, and I just want the background color to be blue. This is just a very quick example to be blue over there. So great. So I want this to, let's say the width should be 100%, and then the height of this should be 100 VH. So should be 100 VH, and that being said, save this particular file, and if we should go over here Okay, I haven't reused this. So we're coming over here now. I'm just going to say that, oh, let me just change the section to nav instead. I think it would be easier that way. Nav and nav. So great, so we have this. And this is browser default margin and pattern. So we're just going to ignore that for the meantime as there's a basic example. So I'm just going to create quick links over here. I'll take this out. So I would say, let's just put a hash there. And the first one we want to do here, let's say Angular, link to Angular. Next thing, link to view. So save that, and that's not looking good. So say color. Let's use blue for instance, and display should be grid gap. So this is actually not a CSS tutorial, so we're just going to have something that is really, really basic. Okay, so our color is actually not reflecting because we need to add color to overwrite the default of the browser. So let's say when we have an A tag here, we have this. So let's say align contents should be start. Okay, so we're just going to go with this for now. So this is what we have for in our application. Whoops, I just pressed Ctrl S on my web browser. So this is what we have for now for our React application. But you can see that the width of this particular thing is like 100%, just like we defined in our CSS file. But if we should move over to our to the root of our application, and we then say that we actually want these two guys here, we're going to take them out, and I'm going to put this in another div. I'll put this in another div, and I will just give this a class of, let's just say it's base class. Okay, so I'm going to give this a class of nav. Let's say navigation. All right, so now this CSS, I'm just going to write a quick CSS on my EGS file. I can actually write that here. So I'm going to say styles. Okay, that's not it. Style. Great. So I'm going to say when we have the base class there, we want the width should be 100%. We also want the height to be 100 VH. All right, so we can say we want this to be display grid, and we want the grid template column. I'm just going to say one, or let's say 200 pixel, then auto. Okay, so we can see that this particular styling is reflected here, is being reflected here. So the point I'm trying to make is that what we have in our layout is more like a kind of an iframe, not an iframe, but it's kind of an iframe, and you can see that our application is now taking 100% of the layout of this particular single SPA application. So when we say 100, when we say let's say 100%, it's not really going to overflow the whole place. It's still going to obey the layout that we have already defined. So that is basically what the layout is just being used for. So in the next application, we are going to create one other application we add to this, and we just create 1, 2 applications after this, and we just see how routing is being done in a single SPA. So that's all for now for this video. All right, so please ensure you subscribe to this channel, because this actually helped me to keep going on and try to release more contents for everyone out there. So that's it for now. Goodbye, and once again, my name is Augustine. Thank you.